is the study of microorganism, usually less than 1 millimeter in diameter, which requires some form of magnification by microscope to be seen clearly. So these, in the other means, we cannot see with the naked eye or these are organisms. For this, we need aid or help of the instrument that is called the microscope. And from this microscope, we can see these organisms. Otherwise, we are unable to see these microorganisms. So microbiology is mostly concerned with these microorganisms that are only seen by the microscope that is needed for their examination. So microbiology is the study of microorganisms usually less than 1 millimeter in diameter, which requires magnification by the microscope to see clearly of them. Then we see the classification of microbiology. Previously, microbiology was as a one subject going on. Now, the microbiology has also vast field and is distributed into many types of the categories that it has been. So, technical advances resulted in a development of the many microbiology fields. These are agriculture microbiology, aquatic microbiology, industrial microbiology, medical microbiology, space microbiology, and environmental microbiology. So these are all branches of the microbiology that has been classified into many types. But you are here with concern with the medical microbiology, that the organisms which are related to the humans. So these are this microbiology branch which say it that it is the medical microbiology. So this is the classification of microbiology. From this screen you can see many types it is there, but only you have been concerned with the medical microbiology. Now, medical microbiology further classified. This is the study of microorganism. Which type of microorganism? These are bacteria, fungus, parasite, viruses. Most of these can be seen on these can be seen with the microscope.
Microscope.
Yes, with the microscope mostly, but viruses and among these included in the microbiology that it is not seen by the microscope. It requires electron microscope that is needed for the examination of the detailed structure of the viruses. Now, we will see these structures and discuss these microorganisms one by one. So first we have to go the history of medical microbiology. History of medical biology, you see each thing which is coming in the world has its own history. For example, you are using the mobile, and this mobile, it has history from which it has been started, and now it is at advanced stage in your hands. So microbiology has also a long history from where it has been started. So first we take this microbiologist scientist, that is Robert Hooke. That is one of the most important discoveries in the microbiology occurred in 1665. So going to be very far away. 1665, he developed a crude microscope. And then Robert Hooke stated that life's smallest structural unit is cell. So previously no concept of this one there, but he has introduced that life's smallest unit is the cell, which are making that body of that one. So this pioneers, introducers at that time, this was the Robert Hooke that has explained the cell with the help of the microscope, crude microscope. He explained that one. So the initiation of the microbiology started at that time, 1665. Then Antony van Leeuwenhoek, another scientist microbiology that I have described. It takes many lectures if you go into the detailed study of this one. But this I have introduced in briefly all these aspects of this microbiology that has been with the period of the time has gone advancement. So now coming to the basic classification of the microorganism. As you see, microorganism, they are bacteria, protozoa, fungus, all these viruses. Now we begin with the beginning of this microbiology, how it has been microorganism classified. So basically, microorganism classified into two types. Two types has been classification of the microorganism, that are, one is prokaryotic microorganism, other is the eukaryotic microorganisms. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic. What is the difference between them? If you see the prokaryotic microorganism, that is simple cell structure, no definite nucleus or organelles. इसमें से एक सिंपल सेल स्ट्रक्चर होता है, इसमें न्यूक्लियस और ऑर्गेनेल्स डेफिनेट नहीं होते, लेकिन कंटेंट्स मौजूद होते हैं, लेकिन डेफिनेटली न्यूक्लियस और ऑर्गेनेल्स इन ऑर्गेनाइज मैटर में नहीं होते. तो उसकी एग्जांपल में आप देखेंगे बैक्टीरिया, Rickettsia is also a bacteria, so you can put this one in the category of the prokaryotic microorganism. If you go to the eukaryotic microorganism, it is complex cell structure with nucleus and specialized organelles. इसमें defined nucleus होगा, organelles जो सेल के organelles होंगे इन्हें specialized manner में arranged होंगे सेल में. So example आप इसकी लेंगे तो fungi, parasites, protozoa, algae, slime molds. So these are the eukaryotic microorganism. So very simple structure called prokaryotic with complex structure eukaryotic organism. Now the question arises, human cell. Human cell किस category में आएगा? Anybody, any student? यूकैरियोटिक में आएगा या प्रोकैरियोटिक में आएगा?
सर यूकैरियोटिक में.
Yes, exactly, very good. क्योंकि human cell is also a complicated cell structure that having a definite nucleus, human cell. So by the definition you can easily identify. Prokaryotic simple structure, not defined nucleus or organelles, no definite that one. But eukaryotic complex structure, complex organelles and defined nucleus. So human has a defined nucleus that comes in the category of the eukaryotic structure. So these are the two basic classification of the microorganism. But further classification we will see, discuss this one. Initially, the basic classification of the microorganism is prokaryotic. Remember, this is prokaryotic and eukaryotic organism. Now, modern medical microbiology. Modern medical biology, that if we say the field of bacteriology, it means the study of causative bacteriological agents in infectious disease. So when we say bacteriology, it is the study of the infectious agents that are the mostly the bacteria that are causative organisms, that is bacteriology. Then is the virology. Now, everybody, you will be aware of this one, that virus is coronavirus, that comes under the virology field, the study of non-cellular living system capable of causing infectious disease in the man. So this is the world of virus. Bacteria, it is far behind nowadays. This is virus has been introduced into the world, and this has put all the world on the foot. So this is virology. Virology, that is study of non-cellular living system that is the capable of causing infectious disease. Very, very small microorganism only seen with the help of the electron microscope. Then mycology, the study of fungi, pathogen for human. So fungus are also involved in the most of the pathogenic diseases in the human. So this is branch is called the mycology relating to the fungus. Then parasitology. Parasitology that deals with the pathogenic unicellular animal organism. Pathogenic unicellular animal organisms that are comes under the parasitology. Then we coming to the immunology. This is the branch of also coming in the microbiology. It is the science which is concerned with the mechanism of body protection against pathogenic microorganisms, foreign cells, and the substances. So body immune mechanism will be playing a part in the against these foreign cells or the substances. So vaccination also comes under the immunology subject. We will see this, what is the immunology and what are its aspects of this one later on. This is coming under the modern medical microbiology. First, we are coming to the morphology of the bacteria. Morphology of bacteria coming to the, I have described basic organism of prokaryotic organisms. First, we describe this one, we understand this structure, then we will understand the complicated structure of the cells. So this is prokaryotic organism. This is morphology of bacteria coming that one. First thing is it is prokaryotic organism. Size of bacteria mostly varies and mostly pathogenic. That means the pathogenic bacteria, those bacteria which are causing disease in human, they are called the pathogenic bacteria. They measure from 0.1 to 10 micron meter. So 1 micron meter, if you assess, thousands of the millimeter, 1,000 of the millimeter size of this one, if you see the micron. So this bacteria is 0.1 to 10 micron in size. Reproduce quickly. That is this is a characteristic of the living organism that they reproduce. So this bacteria reproduce quickly. Major cause of disease and causes diseases may be dangerous if we are not treating properly the diseases that may be dangerous for the body, for the humans. So many different ways to identify them in the lab. In the lab we will discuss many ways how we will identify the infection of the bacteria in the human and what are the ways for their identification of these bacterial infections. So this is a brief introduction to this morphology of the bacteria. You will see in detail in books. You also see that one. So this is introductory lecture. So it will be a brief description in this one. So it is prokaryotic organism, 0.1 to 10 micron meter in size, reproduce quickly and causing many diseases. If they are untreated, they can be dangerous and may many ways are there in the laboratory for their identification. Then we come into the morphology of the virus. Everybody aware with the name of the virus. Nowadays, very common virus in the society, which is identified this as a coronavirus, which is one of the type of the viruses causing the disease in the human. It is smallest as a general. If we see the morphology of the virus, not specifically relating to corona, we as a general morphology, we see the virus of this one, smallest known infectious agent that do not possesses cellular organization. इसकी एक organized cellular organization नहीं है, लेकिन yet is the infectious agent and reproduce that one. So this is the smallest infectious agent that is most of the time called acellular infectious. Have no complete cellular structures are there in the virus. So that is why it is has no definite cellular organization in the virus. Cannot be seen by the, as I have described earlier, that by the regular microscope. There's only one type of nucleic acid it has, either RNA or DNA. So may not be surrounded by the protein coat, may or may not be surrounded. So if you see the detail of this structure, it has also a one type of nucleic acid. In bacteria, nucleic acid, DNA, RNA will be there, but in this virus, only one type of nucleic acid is there. Either it is DNA virus or it is RNA virus. So both these RNA, DNA will not be existing in the viruses. So only existing one type of virus, that is DNA or RNA virus, that is make the basic classification of the viruses. Or other is classification is that having a protein coat or not protein coat. This is another way of classifying or defining the viruses, that having a protein coat and some having no protein coat. Varies in size. So its size, if you see, the unit of measurement in this is nanometer. So it is nanometer. In the bacteria, while you have seen that it is millimeter, that is 1,000 parts. If you see the nanometer, it is 1 millionth of the millimeter. How you can assess how small as this virus is there from bacteria? That is 1 millionth of the millimeter part. It is size of that one. So it varies in size, and unit of measurement in this is nanometer, 1 millionth part of the millimeter. Now, continuing with the morphology of the viruses, it has lack of enzymes, does not having, because every living cells has its enzymatic activity. So this virus will not having enzyme necessary which is necessary for protein and nucleic acid synthesis. So it is lack of enzymes, does not having enzymes, but uses the enzymes of the host cell for its activities. So this is a infectious agent having no enzymatic activities, but utilizing the host cell's activities for enzymatic processes. They multiply in a complex process, not by binary fission. Binary fission is a way by which the bacteria divide, one bacteria divide into two, two into four, four into eight, like that. But this viruses multiply in a complex way. One virus can give millions of the virus offspring by in case of infections. So it is not dividing by a way of the binary fission. So this has a complex way of multiplication of the viruses. They are, another is that they are unaffected by the antibiotics. So antibiotics are mostly used against bacteria. So these antibiotics are effective against the bacteria, but these viruses are not responding to the antibiotics, so they are unaffected. That is why we say viral diseases are very dangerous, not responding to even most of the drugs. They are only sensitive to interferons, mostly in case of hepatitis. Interferon was invented for the treatment of these hepatitis infections, hepatitis viruses. So these are interferons, they are active against these viruses. Then what they causes, they causes cold, influenza, hepatitis, dengue, fever, and corona infection. So these are the important diseases caused by the virus. They are influenza, hepatitis, dengue, and the corona, and etc. Many diseases are there. Then coming to the morphology of the fungi, these, these are the eukaryotic organism with rigid cell wall. Eukaryotic organism, how will we define this eukaryotic organism? Anybody? I have described initially. Yes. How we will say eukaryotic organism? Which type of structure it should have?
Sir, no clear nucleus, no
Yes.
clear boundary of the nucleus, and
Yes.
unspecialized organelles.
With specific organelles, yeah, that is, I say that complex cell structure. Complex cell structure, that is eukaryotic. Simple cell structure is prokaryotic. So this having a complex structures inside that organism, eukaryotic organism. So it has a rigid cell wall, grow mainly as a single cell. So it is larger organism, but only having a single cell structure. How they it produce? By means of yeast and the mold. So examples are by means of budding. So one structure is there, like branch of tree you can see, and budding is from the branch, it is going on. So these are reproducing like that one. So as I said, in bacteria it is binary fission, in virus it is multiple complex multiplication. But in this, if you see the multiplication of the fungi, that is by means of budding. The examples of these are the yeast and mold. So what the infection they are causing, they are very serious infection they are causing very, very resistant to be treated. These infections, these are athlete's foot, ringworm, oral thrush. So these are the mostly the infections which are caused by the fungi. They are very resistant to be treatment and require long-term treatment by these fungal infections are required. Then coming to the morphology of the parasites, organism that lives on or in another organism and gets nourishment from them. These are called the parasites. By means of definition, anybody can say that parasites, that is mostly that is getting its nutrition from the host. It has no its reproductive activities out there, but the organism that lives onto another organism and get nourishment from that, lives inside or outside on the surface, that are the mostly the parasites. The infection which are caused by the parasites are called the infestations. So it is not called the infections. The parasites involvement of the host we call is infestations. That by means of the we can by this mean infestation we can understand that is the etiological agent is the mostly parasite. What are coming in these parasites? Worms, insects, and the ticks. They are coming in the category of the parasites. So, etc. Any other also they are coming in the parasites. These protozoans, all these they are coming this one. So then protozoans that kept in another category of this one. Morphology of the protozoans. They are at category of the parasite, but it has been given individual identity, that is the protozoans. Single cell eukaryotic organism larger than bacteria found in the soil and the water. So these are from where they are entering into the body or the host and causing the disease. Their basic source is soil and water, from where they are entering the body and will causing the disease. So what the disease? They are malaria, amoebic dysentery, and Trichomonas vaginalis. They are examples. We will study all these organisms, pathogenic organisms, in the later in a special microbiology one by one, how they where they are found, where the source of these organisms, how they enter the body, and what the disease they cause, and what the sign symptom of that are there. So that is this is the morphology of protozoan. They are eukaryotic organism larger than bacteria. That is complex structure of these protozoans have a cellular structure. Then now we come to the question how the microorganism cause the disease. Every microorganism cannot cause the disease, but most of the organisms they can cause the disease by these way. Number one, transmission from one person to another person by direct touching, droplets, contaminated foods or drinks, or by means of vectors that are carrying the disease organisms. That is, for example, mosquito, they are carrying the malarial parasite or dengue virus. So these are the vector. Flies that carries the enteric organism, that is salmonella, causing the enteric fever. So these are fly act as a vector. So transmission from one person to another person by direct touching, droplets, contaminated foods or drinks, or by means of vector. This is the one way of causing the disease by the microorganism spreading from one person to another person. But and then by using of nutrients or other materials of the individual host. So it means अगर पैथोजन that is causing the disease body में enter होता है तो जाके damage करता है body को. How? It takes the nutrition of the and other material from the cell. So that is damaging effect inside the body. That is why we feel fever or something unusual in the body. That is by means of entry of this pathogenic organism into the body, and that takes its nutrients from the host. Another mechanism is damaging body cells by by reproducing inside the cell. Not only it will damage the body cells, but also increase their numbers in the cells, so that it will be able to cause a serious effects on the body at to a numbers. So all getting its nutrients from the body, multiplies rapidly, damage the cells continuously, and that will be reproducing inside the cells. Then another is by targeting the cells of the body's own defenses. जो body के हमारे defense mechanism में cells involve होते हैं, they are targeting on that one. जिस तरह के एक मुल्क की आर्मी होती है जो मुल्क का डिफेंस के लिए एक्टिव होती है, तो उस पर अटैक किया जाए, तो इसी तरह ये माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म मोस्टली will act on the defensive cells of the body which are protecting our body. So these microorganisms will attack on these defensive cells which are so that destroy all these mechanisms of defending the body from the disease, so they will cause severity of the disease. So what will be resulting when the organisms causing the disease, what sign symptom will be there? Fever, tiredness, itches, weakness, skin reaction, and gastrointestinal upset. All these, they are complaint to which side they are attacking. So if they are attacking to any part of the body, relating sign symptom will be there. So these are the microorganisms, how they cause the disease: by utilizing the nutrients, destroying the cells, multiplying inside that one, damaging. So they are transferred by means of many ways of they are entering into the body and then producing its effects. So what are the laboratory methods for the diagnosis of microbial infection? अगर किसी को microbial infection हुई है तो उसके diagnosis is very important. हम कैसे पता करेंगे कि कौन सी माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म इन्वॉल्व है इस डिजीज में और कौन सा कल्प्रेट ऑर्गेनिज्म है जो ये डिजीज काज कर रहा है? So laboratory में many methods we are using for the identification of this microorganism. First is the bacterioscopical, that is mostly the microscopical examination of the specimen of the blood of the site of the involvement to which the bacteria is microorganism is involving, like on skin, from the skin scraping is taken, and also blood, from the blood infection is there, blood is taken, like that one. So जिस साइड की इन्वॉल्वमेंट होती है उसी तरह उसी का स्पेसिमेन लिया जाता है और उसको एग्जामिन किया जाता है. दैट इज मोस्टली अंडर द माइक्रोस्कोप. सो दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग इज द bacterioscopical examination. Then biochemical test. So biochemical test retain biochemical test जिससे हम माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म की आइडेंटिफिकेशन करते हैं, लेबोरेटरी में उसको ग्रो करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ वुंड इज देयर, उसका सैंपल वुंड से सैंपल लिया जाता है, उसको लेबोरेटरी में ग्रो करते हैं और उसके बाद ग्रो के बाद जो ही माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म ग्रोथ करते हैं हम उनको बायोकेमिकल टेस्ट के लिए आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं. दैट इज by means of certain tests. We call these biochemical tests. We will study one by one all these ones. So this is by means of biochemical test. So first is bacterioscopical, second is biochemical, then third is the serological test. This is very important. Most widely used in the laboratory in most of the diseases. They are the serological test. This is antigen antibody test. इनमें हम mostly the organism की बजाय जो ही ऑर्गेनिज्म बॉडी में डिजीज पैदा करता है तो उसके एज ए रिस्पांस एंटीबॉडीज पैदा होती है. तो आइदर वी विल डिटेक्ट द एंटीजन जो कि बॉडी में एंटर होकर डिजीज पैदा कर रहा है उसको डिटेक्ट करते हैं, या एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ एंट्री ऑफ द माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म एंटीबॉडीज पैदा होती है, उसको आइडेंटिफिकेशन करने के बाद हम डायग्नोज करते हैं. दैट इज द मेथड ऑफ सीरोलॉजिकल टेस्ट. दिस इज इन दिस सीरोलॉजिकल टेस्ट मोस्टली द फ्लूइड्स आर टेकन and also blood samples and fluids from the body they are taken and serological tests are performed on that one. This is the third test. Fourth is detection of sensitivity of bacteria to antibiotics. So this is antibiotic we have advanced. Mostly nowadays, every antibiotics has its sensitivity to the microorganism, detection, isolation of the organism, inoculation on the in the laboratory, and then putting the antibiotic sensitivity from where we can find out which drug is effective against that microorganism, and we will say that this is the drug which will be mostly the organism will be sensitive to that drug. So that is the detection of the by means of sensitivity we can detect the disease and also the infective organism in that case. This is the fourth one. Now advanced cases test that is nowadays it is performed is the DNA technology. Even viral diseases are diagnosed by this technique that is called the PCR, polymerase chain reaction. That is the polymerase chain reaction. We can even identify the smallest organisms, any smallest viral infection caused by these, we can identify and diagnose by means of DNA or RNA technology, by means of these machines. Now, latest equipment, we can diagnose the disease. So these are the different tests which are performed in the laboratory according to the category of the disease, which test will be suiting to that disease, patient is suffering from the disease, and which test should be performed, or sometime combination of 2 or 3 tests we are combining with that one to reach the diagnosis of the disease. So these are the mostly the laboratory methods which are being applied for the diagnosis of the bacterial microbial infections. Now you can see in this a picture of this hospital microbiology laboratory that you see this is quite will be different from the other laboratories because here the infective material is there. क्योंकि जो यहाँ पे लेबॉर्ट्री में ये माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म की इन्फेक्टेड लेबॉर्ट्री होती है जो वर्क करने वाले होते हैं, पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ द डिजीज ट्रांसमिशन विल बी देयर. सो इसमें हम बहुत ही हिफाजती इकदाम लिए जाते हैं ताकि इन्फेक्शस माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म जो हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स हैं, लेबॉर्ट्री वर्कर्स हैं, उनको ट्रांसमिट ना हो जाए. तो दैट आर द यू कैन सी दीज certain equipments, they are placed in that one, and it is isolated lab. This is some kind of different as compared to the other pathological lab, because pathology lab has many sections: hematology section, chemical section, then it is microbiology section, or the chemistry section is also there. So this microbiology section is quite different from the other sections of the laboratory because it carries the infective organism that can be transmitted from to the to the laboratory workers, and from where laboratory workers to the other person, the possibility is there. So these are laboratories are kept in isolation as compared to the other laboratory sections. Then mostly in this the tool which is used is the safety cabinet, used avoiding the splashing and the inhalation of the possible pathogens. ये आप पिक्चर देख रहे हैं सेफ्टी कैबिनेट की. इसमें this is it is attached with the exhaust fan that takes the air from the inside of the safety cabinet but not putting there. So it is filtered by the HEPA filter, then it is going, this air is going to the outside, so that air will not be coming to the workers. यहाँ पे लेबॉर्ट्री वर्कर बैठकर टेस्ट परफॉर्म करता है जिसके ज़रिए वो जो एयर है जो इस सेफ्टी कैबिनेट पूरा कैबिनेट है इसके अंदर एयर जितनी भी होती है वो बाई मीन्स ऑफ एग्जॉस्ट filter that is filtered and then it's going on, so that microorganism will not go outside to cause the disease to the other persons. So this is the mostly a main instrument in the microbiology, that is the safety cabinet being used in various tests, infectious tests in the laboratory that you can see in this picture. It is there. for the working in the microbiology section. Then with this, thank you very much for attending this period.